All right, what is up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Brian, and today we're doing a first look and unboxing at the new Apple Watch Series 8, which I just bought from the Apple Store about an hour ago. And when I went, it was the first time I've ever gone to an Apple Store where there's been a line, at least in the past few years. I went to the local mall here, and I was not expecting that, but I did have an appointment, so luckily I was able to grab this thing pretty quick and come back and make this unboxing. So the first thing that is gonna be in the box is basically your sport band, or I got the sport band, but your watch band. Of course, it comes in that Apple-esque packaging, very minimal, very nice, and watch. So I decided to buy the sport band. I just feel like it's the cheapest and most basic option, and I wanted to get the watch that the majority of people that are watching this video are probably going to want to buy. So what I did is I bought the base model. This is the midnight version, and it's kind of interesting because the watch itself looks gray on camera and in most lighting situations, but I don't know if you can see on the front of the box here, it's kind of like a bluish color instead. So inside the main box here, if we can open this up, you're basically just gonna be given the Apple Watch itself, and then the new for me, the fast charging, which is supposed to be able to charge the entire watch in like 45 minutes. And I believe if we open this up, the way that you're supposed to indicate that you have the fast charging charger is it has a silver band on the edging of the actual charger. So for me, I'm upgrading from the normal one. It did not have the silver banding, but silver banding is going to indicate that you have the fast charging version of the Apple Watch charger. So I'm going to set this aside over here. And then of course, we have the actual Apple Watch. And I think this is supposed to be some sort of like biodegradable casing, well, not casing, but like shipping container thing. And even this little container sleeve thing has the 41 millimeter indication on the back of it. Of course, in that Apple style, they never miss the details. And last but not least, we are presented with the 41 millimeter Apple Watch Series 8 in midnight. So if I can just take these, and I always put these on wrong, but if I'm gonna put these bands in, they just click into place like every other Apple Watch you've ever used, maybe? So the bands just click into place pretty much like every other Apple Watch you've ever used. And I think that's a good indication of what this review is going to be like, because coming from a point of view of upgrading from a Series 5, I was personally expecting, I was gonna buy this watch no matter what because I wanted to make videos about it, and it's kind of what I do. But I was expecting a little bit more of an upgrade. There were a lot of leaked images about what the new Apple Watch would look like or could look like, and a lot of them did not come true. A lot of them were kind of presented in the Series Ultra version. But as for the Series 8, I'll bring out my Series 5 over here, and if I lay them down, I mean, these essentially, these watches look the same. Obviously, like mine is a little bit more scuffed up over here. It has different color bands, but essentially, these look exactly the same, and if I put the same bands on my Series 5, you would not be able to tell the difference. Now, obviously, there are some differences on the internals of these watches, and that's basically where most of the changes are going to be. I'm just gonna move the Series 5 off for now and talk about the Series 8, and of course it has everything like the Series 5, 6, and 7 did, which is gonna be dust-proof, it's gonna be swim-proof, you're able to take this in the water, and it can shoot out the water that gets stuck inside the speaker system using that cool vibration technique. The Series 8 has an always-on Retina display that can get up to 1,000 nits of brightness, and it can also do things like the ECG and the blood oxygen level that we've been able to do on the Apple Watch for a while now, so there's really nothing new in terms of that area. Now, to talk about one of the biggest changes that I think is worth mentioning is the changes to how they do the temperature and body sensors. Now, there has been temperature sensors on Apple Watches before, this is nothing new, but the new thing is the way that they're choosing to do it. So the new Apple Watch Series 8 actually has 2 temperature sensors. One is going to be on the bottom like we're used to. It's in that cluster of gauges at the bottom of your watch, but the second one is now going to be inside of the Apple Watch. And Apple's reasoning for this is basically to reduce the amount of outside noise coming from external things like the temperature outside, and hopefully the internal temperature sensor is going to be more accurate. Now, why would this be important? Why do we need 2 temperature sensors on a watch? And the biggest reason being for people tracking their cycles. If you are tracking your cycle, there's been cycle tracking apps before, making sure your timings are correct, but Apple claims that with these 2 temperature sensors, basically they can be a lot more accurate, and it's all built in natively to the app, so there's really nothing else you have to do. And of course, in the very Apple-esque technique, all of this is stored locally on your device, and it's very private, and it's not going to be stored somewhere else in the cloud. So all of your cycle data is supposedly private to you. Now, there is, of course, another big safety feature that is in the Series 8 Apple Watch, which is going to be the crash detection. And the crash detection is essentially if you get into an accident, and weirdly enough, they stated this specifically to a certain types of things like trucks and sedans. So I don't know if it's categorized in certain areas. So if you're in a semi-truck, for example, maybe it won't recognize a crash, but regardless, it has crash detection, which basically means if you get into an accident, the Apple Watch Series 8 can detect that you were in that crash. It will ask if you're okay, and if you don't respond in a timely manner, it will alert authorities for you, which is a really cool safety feature. I really appreciate that aspect of the Apple Watch in general. Using it as a safety device is really cool in my opinion. Now on to some of the just general specs of this thing. It has the same display resolution, same screen, basically the same casing as the Series 7, so there's really essentially nothing new about the way that this thing looks. It's going to look exactly the same as every other Series 7 watch out there, and there's visually pretty much no way to tell the difference, except you mentioning it because you want to be gloaty about your new Series 8 Apple Watch. They do claim it provides up to 18 hours of battery life on normal usage and up to 36 hours of battery life on their new low power mode, which is not a thing on the lower series models, although it is coming in a new OS watch update. So that's not going to be exclusive to the Series 8 for very long. The back of the watch essentially looks exactly like the Series 7 as well, and it basically just features all the cluster of sensors that you're going to be using for temperature, heart rate, those kind of things. And if I hold it up again next to my Series 5, they essentially look the same. Again, visually, there's no way to tell these two watches apart, and it's kind of disappointing, just a little bit. However, the color is very different. Obviously, the Series 8 is a midnight color, which is a little frustrating because it's not a blue, but it's not a gray, and it feels like it can't decide what it wants to be. And as somebody who likes very minimal watch styles, unless I choose to do something very gaudy like a gold watch, I don't love the blue accents in the new color scheme. I wish they would have stuck with just a simple like gray or a black or a space gray, although they change the space gray color every year, so what does that even matter? And technically, I guess I lied. There is a way to tell these apart visually with the new watch faces that they gave to the Series 8 Apple Watch. So the new watch faces, I'm just gonna read off right here, are Metropolitan, Astronomy, Lunar, Modular, Playtime, and Portrait. That's fine. There's new watch faces, that's cool. And I think it's important to phrase this first impression and unboxing as somebody who is a super huge Apple fanboy. I really pretty much buy every product that Apple makes. So for me to kind of be underwhelmed with this release is, I think, a good indicator of the general population, how they might feel. And my recommendation would be if you're coming off of a Series 5, 6, or 7, honestly, it might not be worth the upgrade to the Series 8. The $400 investment could probably be put better towards maybe an iPhone 14. It's kind of a weird timeline release for Apple right now. The innovations have been very small over the past couple years, but the Series 8 is looking very small to the Series 7. So that, folks, is the Series 8 Apple Watch. And listen, I'm an Apple fanboy. I buy everything they make. Basically, I have one of everything or multiple of everything. And my honest, true opinion, if you are trying to learn if you want to upgrade or not, is probably don't. Unless you're somebody who's on a Series 3, Series 4, maybe a Series 5, I honestly would not do it. If I put this on and told people it was a Series 8 and got like cleaner bands. So my true advice would be probably to skip this year, honestly, if you are looking to make an upgrade or not. I'm also buying the Apple Watch Ultra, and I think a big indicator for me whether or not a product is going to be worthy of like upgrading or not is whether or not I'm gonna make a lot of content around it. A good example is the Apple Watch Ultra. I'm gonna make so much content about that, it's gonna be crazy because it's so new and so different and so cool. It's worth that. And the Series 8, while it is a very nice, cool watch and it works as you would expect and it's fast, it's still the same watch essentially as a 6 and 7. So yeah, I feel like I've beat a dead horse on this. Probably don't upgrade if you're looking to. And yeah, that's kind of everything you get in the box. You get the watch, the bands, and a charger. Don't really expect much more. I'm surprised, honestly, we even get a charger these days with Apple. So if you enjoy this video, let me know. Subscribe, hit the like button, comment down below. I'm gonna have Apple Watch Ultra and the new AirPods review coming out in the next few weeks here. So if you're interested in that, stick around. Other than that, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.